Hi guys, back again with another review. In today's review, we are reviewing Black Panther, starring Chadwick Boseman, returning following the Civil War. The last time we saw him, Captain America Civil War. And in this film, it's picking up just after the events where he returns to his native Wakanda. And there he has to deal with the issues following his father's death and leading him to becoming the king of Wakanda and ultimately becoming its protector on a full-time basis as the Black Panther. Chadwick Boseman again plays the character very cool and very likeable, similar to what we had in Civil War. He was likeable in that film, and this time he's just grown in the role, and we get to see a lot more evolution of the character. He's more regal. Obviously now he's became the king, if that's what in fact happens. He is the king, and it's just really good. I mean, the way he plays the role, again, it's fun to watch, and it's just good. As I say, it's an understated performance against some of the others, but it's a really great role. And the film Black Panther itself has some great action set pieces with a first half that feels very different to a lot of the other Marvel films. It feels more like a Bond film. There's missions and things that have to happen that ultimately lead our characters into various other parts of the world, and it plays out in a really cool, interesting way, and then kind of just falls back into the normal sort of Marvel formula which we're used to, which isn't a bad thing, but I really enjoyed that first half of the film. Alongside Chadwick Boseman, there's a phenomenal cast in the film of Michael B. Jordan, Lupita Nyong'o, Letitia Wright, who's really good in the film, as Shuri, Angela Bassett, Danai, Daniel Kaluuya, Forrest Whitaker, Martin Freeman, and also Andy Serkis rounding out the cast as Claw. It's just great. This is a massive cast, and there's just so many stars in their own right in the film, and Michael B. Jordan is just so fantastic as the character Eric Killmonger. He's a character that people will be talking about for years to come. He's so complex, so diverse, and you're not quite sure how to take the character. Is he really a villain or is he not? That's something that's going to be talked about for quite a while, but he's so charismatic. When he's on screen, you just have to watch what he's doing and listen to what he's saying. And his points that he's trying to make in the film, if you're actually listening, aren't wrong in terms of what he's trying to say, but it's perhaps how he goes about it which kind of puts him into that villain-like category. But he plays it so well. It's really interesting, and I love the dynamic between him and Chadwick Boseman's Black Panther, or T'Challa. They seem like two sides of the same coin, and both have, there's things that happen in the film that show really what the characters' motivations are and why they're both there at that point, and it's really good. Nakia, played by Lupita Nyong'o, is one of the spy characters in the film, and she works outside of Wakanda, having to get brought back in to the incidents that are happening within the country, and just makes for an interesting character. She's T'Challa's long-time love interest, and she is also his confidant in the film when he has issues and things that he's thinking about with becoming king, and that's sort of really cool to watch in the film as well. Letitia Wright as Shuri is one of the standout characters in this film. Every time you see her, she's warm, she has a big smile, a big embrace, and she's just really cool and really interesting to watch. And she's also one of the smartest characters, not only in this film but in the cinematic universe of Marvel that they've created, and it's really cool to see what this character does. And ultimately, I'd love to see where they take this character. She was one of the standouts, and she'll be another character that we'll be talking about for a while. Okoye, played by Danai, is just absolutely fantastic, and she has some of the best action set pieces you will see in not only this film but in film in general, like that I've seen for a while. And some of the camera work when she's involved in that fight stuff is just absolutely amazing. Alongside her being the general, you've got the Dora Milaje, and they're just fierce warriors, and they've got these bold heads and these armor, and it's just really cool to watch, and it's really interesting sort of that dynamic with them and just how they're willing to protect their king. That's really cool. Rounding that out, you've got Angela Bassett playing Ramonda, the queen, and again she really helps encourage T'Challa in the film. You've got Martin Freeman, who reprises his role from Civil War, playing Everett Ross. a FBI agent or a CIA agent rather, who's also there to obviously have his own means but also ultimately help T'Challa. Andy Serkis's Claw, again seen in Age of Ultron, has another appearance in this film and just gives him a chance to expand on his role and the stuff that we've already seen him doing. And it's just another really cool film with all of these great visuals and all of this really cool stuff going on in the film itself. But the world of Wakanda that they've built and the ideas, that the way that they use vibranium, the way that the world itself looks, the architecture, the structure, the look, the landscape, the photography, everything about this film just works, and it's one of the most visual films that we've seen. We've seen places like Asgard's, but this Wakanda that they've built looks like the first time that we saw a place that looks lived in, that looks real, that feels real, and the ideas and the way that they do things there. I mean, even the king himself can be challenged for the throne, and that's a very interesting take on that. I mean, it's just a really, really cool film, and I mean, I really loved it. The costume design was fantastic, and the way that they weave the vibranium through their own costumes, it's very Afro-futurism in terms of what they're doing with it. It's quite an interesting thing to watch, and you can tell there's a lot of love and a lot of attention to detail put in that. I mean, ultimately, the world of Black Panther is really cool, and I can't wait to see where they're going to take things further. I think it was a really good film. I mean, there's a lot of scope, and there's going to be a lot of things to cover, and I think it might take probably a few more viewings, but I'd encourage anybody to go out and watch this film if you haven't already. The film's made so much money at the global box office, and there's a reason for it. It's a great film. Sure, there's a couple of slower moments probably in the middle, and sometimes some people probably could view that T'Challa kind of gets not sidelined, but he's given less to do than perhaps some of the other characters. But ultimately, as a film, it holds up. It's quite strong, and I'd give it a solid 9.5 out of 10. I loved everything about the film, the visuals, the story. It was just great, and you can see that the director Ryan Coogler, following his work on Creed, has just created such a love letter to things that he wanted to probably explore in himself, and it's just a really cool film, and I can't wait to see where they take this character and what they do with him. So there'll definitely be sequels, so hopefully we'll see what Marvel does next with Black Panther. If you liked and enjoyed what you saw, give us a like, comment, subscribe, and let us know what you guys thought of the film.